All right, looks like we're live. Is my mic on? Yeah. What are we at today? Thursday, October 21st. Yesterday was a pretty decent day in trading. I'll go over that in a second. Had a lot of stuff moving around like crazy. Hopefully we'll have another one today. But Big Nate, what's up? Good morning. Josh Stewart, good morning. Junior Wills, 6'8 Spindrift, good morning. Sly Dev, Louie, thank you everybody who's in here already early this morning. I know it's pretty early, especially you guys that are on the West Coast like I am. Joseph Scott, what's going on? Okay, let's see here. So, like I said yesterday, a lot of stocks that ended up popping off. Maybe we'll go over those first because it looks like we're still kind of early on in the. Let me see here. So, BlackBerry was one that I talked about yesterday morning, and I'm still thinking that this one still has some room left in it. If we zoom out to the daily chart, you could see the previous day had this huge run up, and it's been kind of momentum shift reversal over the last couple days now, maybe even a week and a half. So I went long on this one, and I ended up jumping in and trading it once yesterday as well. Let me see if I could zoom this in. But if you were just looking to trade, a couple big opportunities yesterday. We had this crossover of the 9 here and breakthrough VWAP, but really the one that I've been playing the most right now, like I keep talking about, is this cross above the 50. So 1114, and I think I ended up getting stopped out right here below the 9. So it shot up to 1132, and then I got stopped out somewhere around 1127 ish, if I'm remembering correctly. But it ended up popping a couple more times. We saw it break above here at 1126, and went on a run up to 1151. Not bad. I'm still holding a position in DraftKings, or not DraftKings. Damn, I'm tired of BlackBerry. I still have some DraftKings too, but BlackBerry. So I'm still holding that position that I entered into. Let me see if I could change my settings on my chart real quick, just so this. Oh, we could zoom out a little. There we go. Yeah, I entered in around here and held long, and I still haven't exited that, but I ended up trading this as well, but held on to my original position. So still sitting in here, and then some of the other ones that popped up yesterday. I keep talking about watching these like squeeze stocks, and ATER popped up on my radar. I didn't trade it, but I know some friends that did, and this one had a huge move. Looks like even if you just go from the low of the day, 905 up to 999. So almost a 10% move in there. Actually, more than a 10% move. But one thing that I had pointed out to a couple guys in some group chats that I'm in is Max Payne. Max Payne's sitting at 10 right here on ATER. And what I think that they're doing, when you see these stocks that are trading, well below Max Payne, and all of a sudden this thing goes on this nice rip. What do you think starts happening like right around here? Probably more options buyers coming in thinking that it's time to squeeze because, ATER, don't get me wrong, it's got a ton of squeeze potential. We've been talking about it for weeks now on here. But you know, with Max Payne sitting at $10 right now, it even has some gamma squeeze potential too. But IV is at 182%. Ortex data on this one right now, 30% short interest. You know, cost to borrow on average above 100. Utilization's high, so it's got all those things going for it. But again, so I would imagine that, you know, you get on this run, you get a ton of call buyers start buying in up here, and then look at this, they just hammer it right back down and they're going to pin it there. That's my thoughts, at least. And we saw the same thing happen the day before with SDC, and kind of the same thing. Here we are. This was the day before. It was trading as low as 542. Great opportunities to jump in and day trade. But again, SDC Max Payne right now sitting at $6. IV, actually, it's kind of dropping down. It's on the low end now, lower, 127%. But and we'll pull up the Ortex on this one too. %, short. Cost to borrow not nearly as high, but utilization is still there. But again, I really believe what's happening with these, you know, yeah, it's going on a run, but once it gets up here, you know, it's still not really past that Max Payne threshold, and Max Payne being at 6, you know, and they just end up slamming the thing back down and getting it back into an area where they can control it and just rake in those premiums. So it's just something to be cautious about with all these squeeze plays. And that's why, you know, I've been talking about the last couple weeks, like, you know, if you're looking to enter into something and hold it overnight, and which is really risky with a lot of these, I would be more apt to do it with, and I'm talking like purely these squeeze plays with high IV. If you were going to hold something overnight on these, I would be more apt to do it if I know that it's already trading well above Max Payne. You know, that's just something that I'm noticing right now. Let's see here. So ones that we had on the watch list yesterday. RDUS. You know, I think I didn't trade this one. But if you were watching it, we had a nice little rip here. What are we looking at? From $20 up to about 21. That's not bad. My stops, usually when I set my stops, I'll just come in here and zoom in too. You know, if I have something that's running, where we at? There we go. And all of a sudden we get this breakup, and you know, and I think it has more room to go, depending on how the stock's been trading previously. You know, if I want to be more conservative, I might just set it right below the 9 EMA. And sometimes you'll get stopped out early. You know, it'll come down and stop you out there and then just keep on bouncing off of it. If I want to be a little bit less conservative and I think something's going to run a little bit more, maybe I'll go underneath the 20 EMA, you know. But then if you look at how much you would have gave back, you know, on the way back down. But that's usually when I'm playing this breakout above the 50, what I'll use sometimes as a stop loss. But RDUS gave a little bit of, you know, let's see here, a little bit of action. Really only like one that I probably would have played. Let's see here. NVAX was one we talked about, similar to the one from the previous day. I think it was AVIR, where it gapped down, and this is coming off, you know, a huge gap down, a lot of volume behind it. Big play there, 124 to 147. And as we look through, The big one for me yesterday was HX. That was one of the 4 that were on the watch list yesterday. And, I talked about this yesterday, this being like a really small float, and I normally don't like to play these low float stocks because they're so volatile. So I didn't go in with like as big as a position as I, would have with one of these other stocks. But take a look at this price action yesterday. Some of these candles from 1042 reaches upwards of 1124. This other candle went from 1164 up to 1316. A lot of movement in here, and backed up by a lot of volume. So this was probably, this trade right here pretty much made my day yesterday. And then I kind of was trying to jump in and out of some other stuff. I tried to add on to some other stocks and ended up having some losers later on. But I played this a couple times yesterday, and the movement was just insane. If you look at, from like right around here where it started breaking out, it ran from 1044 up to 1781. The only thing I'll say is because I think this one might have the potential to start moving again today. And then it went on another run later in the day, popped up again, and started popping up to $21 in after hours. But it's just, if you're gonna play, and it looks like, there we go, it's moving again. It's just right now from 18 up to 1975. So you're getting like, that's only on 18,000 volume though. So the thing that I'll say here, just so you understand, is don't go in here and think, hey, I'm gonna buy 1,000 shares of this thing, or because the price is cheap, because you're gonna end up being the one that moves the stock, and then someone else is gonna end up jumping out. But wow, it's moving again. And if you guys remember, we look at the daily chart on this one yesterday. We were looking at it yesterday in the pre-market show, and it's just been insane, and volume is still picking up. It's already at 100 on the RSI, but it's a 14 million float. Who knows? This thing could just keep on moving. Or it can also end up rug pulling quick and falling all the way back down to here. So if you're going to play it, don't be too greedy. I think the best way to do it is smaller position size. It's moving enough to let you make a profit, and definitely stick and move. If you get a nice gain, get out. But HX is one that I'm definitely going to be watching again today. It's just those type of moves. So anyways, yesterday, had some really nice gains off that one. And then the only other play that I jumped in, a buddy of mine has been riding SOS for a while now, and he was talking about it, and it didn't really pop up on any scanners or anything for me. I was kind of at that point in the day where I wasn't even scanning for anything. And then I went over to look just to see like kind of how he was doing. And I didn't play. Where'd it go? It wasn't a cross up because the thing was already running. I gotta zoom in here now. I want to say I played this bounce right here. It came down and bounced off the 50, and I waited for it to go above the 9 EMA and jumped in on this nice little run up right here. But and then I ended up losing on another trade on this one later when it broke. Where was it at? I was trying to play it off breaking the high of the day. Yeah, I think it was right here. And when it came up and finally broke the high of the day, I was thinking, okay, it's going to run again. And as you can see, it only popped up to 278 and started falling back down. So that was one of my losing trades yesterday. And then I ended up losing one on a HX too, but not bad. Yesterday was, like I said, a really, really nice day. The only other stock that came up on my scanner yesterday, or kind of on my radar, was Wish. I didn't play this stock, but it's one that I think we should keep our eyes on. This was a retail favorite for a while, falling down off 32. It does have earnings around the corner, so I would be kind of cautious. Really it being beaten down here, I think it would be a nice buy. However, I kind of get scared about, jumping in on earnings and seeing this stock, if you jump in now and then it has bad earnings and it goes even lower and finds a new bottom. But at the same time, I mean, if you're getting in at even right now at 6, a lot of room to the upside if the reversal's in. So this is one I'm just going to keep an eye on. I never really got into Wish previously. Like I said, I know that was a big retail favorite. I know it's got a gap to fill up here. If it continues to see increase in volume, I think this could be potentially like, a big runner next week, a month from now, tomorrow, who knows. So just one that I'm kind of adding on to my list of, the stocks that we've been talking about: SDC, ATER, BBIG, all those stocks that have the ability to just take off at any moment. This is one that I'm going to be watching now. So, anyways, that's everything right now. We'll get into, like what we're going to be watching today for day trades and everything in a second, but I'm going to get back to the chat and check it out. Sir Lucky Charms, what's up? Said, I hate when work gets in the way of making money. No shit. That happens to me all the time. Shrimply McPibs, what's up? Brian Sanders, good morning. Scotty Z says, coaching all on the train, heading to the dream, and I'm listening to these ladies yelling or talking, hearing their life story. Sorry, I'm still waking up, Scotty. Didn't mean to butcher your comment, but yeah. What's going on, Scotty? Can't wait to see you on here tomorrow. Andy Smith, what's up? Says, good morning, coach and crew. Been waiting to get in on DraftKings. You think it's one to get in on and hold till after football season? Yeah, no. So I've been talking about DraftKings since last Friday. So I sent out an alert on the YouTube channel in the community chat on Friday, and then I've been talking about it this week. So I actually jumped back in on DraftKings. Let me see. I mean, it's still kind of trading right here, but I was starting to feel like, again, with the SPY, we should go to that first. That was kind of my whole reason for exiting, is because I felt like the SPY was going to keep sinking, and it kind of did. And you saw what happened with DraftKings. It got drugged down with it, so we got out at a decent moment. The thing that kind of scares me about the SPY right now is all these damn gaps. Like, look at all these gaps that were created to the upside on this the way up. But I still think that DraftKings might be to a point where it's time to get back in. So I got back in on Friday, and you could probably get in at a better price right now. So let's see. I think my cost was like $122. I went with February $65 strikes. 145 right now. Still not bad. And then I also went with December 55s. So those are the two that I played, for right now. And really my thought process on this is, again, I think DraftKings is going to go a lot further, but I went with February, to give me some time. But really what I'm looking at on this is, if all of a sudden, DraftKings takes off and gets back up to this 65 somewhere soon, we're probably going to end up seeing that contract that, you bought for $1.45 worth about $7 or $8. Okay. So you're going to be looking at like 400, 500% profit, maybe more depending on what IV looks like. And at that point, I'm not done with DraftKings, but what I would do is, come in and sell that, and then move up to like a higher strike price. Maybe go with like April 85s, or even April 95s, because I think DraftKings is probably gonna continue to run, like I was saying before, like through football season, definitely into their February earnings. So yeah, so I jumped back in on DraftKings on Friday. I think I put it on the Discord too. So sometimes, when I'm at work and stuff, if I enter into a swing trade or something, I always just kind of throw it in the chat on the Discord. For anyone who's not aware, that's free. Not a lot of action on there. I talked about that yesterday. I wish more people would, post your plays. I mean, I just made that as like something that's, for everyone to kind of throughout the day kind of shoot the shit and talk about what you're trading and everything. So, let's see. Josh says, "Do you think I would not regret? You think I would regret not exercising my $3 calls on Prog?" No. So I'm actually holding Prog still. Um, and Prog, that was the other one that I traded to yesterday, which kind of like how I was saying with BlackBerry. I'm still holding a position, but I still went in there and day traded too. Just added on and sold a little bit, but kept my original position that I entered into previously a couple of days ago. But I think what we're seeing right now is kind of the same thing, like, shot up, consolidation, shot up, consolidation, and I think that's what we're looking at now, and I think it's gonna take off again. Why? One, it's trading above max pain, which is something I've been talking about with all these stocks. I mean, of all of them, this is one that's still trading above. If we look at the short interest on this, I think it's starting to look better than, 64% short interest. You got almost 70% of the float on loan. Cost to borrow today on average 143. Utilization's back up to 99. I think yesterday we saw it dip to 97. Either way, it's high as hell. I think Prog's still primed to keep moving. So, let's see. All right. So here we go. Prog. Closed yesterday at 272. At 278 right now. But yeah, so yesterday I tried to get in here and play this move right here, from 271 up to, I think it was 276, and then I got stopped out right here at 274. Not a big trade at all. But like I said, I'm still holding the position that I entered into. I think it was Tuesday, and I think this one's gonna end up popping again. Could be wrong, but this is the squeeze of all of them right now that I think I probably have the highest conviction on, in terms of the short term. Let's see. Josh, I guess the other question to follow up is when is your expiration on those Prog? Pull that up. I guess it doesn't expire until at least until November 19th. I think we'll see some movement between now and a month from now, so you should be fine. That's what I think, at least. I mean, that's my expectation. That's the way I'm playing it. I think this is going to move in the short term, so if it starts dragging out into November 19th and we still haven't seen it break $3, get up to $4, something like that, then yeah, I would, I don't know. I mean, for me, it just got recently got a price target. I think an analyst upgrade to 4. So I mean, but options are different too, right? Because they got expiration dates on them. Present Minds, what's up? Good morning. Cuckoo Bird, what's going on? Pete, good morning. Skip says, unless we hit 100 on CLOVE today, I'm out of the contest. I forgot about that. Well, I didn't forget about that, but I've been forgetting to check. Damn, that was a long ass time ago too. And I still have those. So I did that 100 shares in a different account. That way, if like, let's say we did pop and I, kind of got excited and sold or something like that. That way I wouldn't sell those. I put them in a separate brokerage account when I bought them that day. And I want to say I don't even remember how long ago it was, but I think it was like $800 or something. It was right around 8. I mean, shit, it could have been months ago. It could have been last week, but nah, that was a while back. It was like, see who can guess what day, CLOVE would hit 100, and we'll, I'll give away 100 shares to whoever guesses the date correctly. But that's been a long ass time. I still got the video there. You know, if and when that happens, I'll go back and check. Let's see here. Michael, what's going on? Says, decided to sleep in on my first day of retirement. Right on. Today's your first day of retirement, Michael. Congratulations, man. I'm jealous. I want to retire. I'm not there yet, though. But congratulations, man. That's awesome. I slept in late yesterday. I don't know who was in here. I know some of you guys were in here yesterday, but a lot of you. But I woke up super late yesterday. Al, what's going on? Says work got in the way. I hate when that happens. Dan, what's up, Dan? What are you still holding your BAKK or BKKT? I kept the options, but I had to cut the shares, at least in the short term. If I see that thing start moving again, I'll definitely jump back in, but I just held on to the options for now. Oh, and there we go. Patrick asked about it right there. I didn't even so yeah, I definitely think it has the potential. And it's actually on Ortex now. I've been looking at Ortex every day to see when they update it. And here we go. Yeah, extremely small float. It's got 7.28 million shares on loan. Utilization's creeping up. I think this is definitely one to keep on the radar. The float is, let me see here, just to confirm that, because I know a lot of times floats get reported differently. So on my end, I'm showing a float of 20 million, but either way, that's a small ass float to have that many shares on loan. So, yeah, I still think BKKT is going to be a decent squeeze play, and I think it's going to have its pop. But unfortunately, it's headed in the wrong direction right now. So, let me pull this up real quick. But I still like the option chain on it too. 20 million float, crosses 10. It's got fuel to get to, but the thing is, we got to get some options deep in the money. It needs to get up here to this $10, $11 range. And that's when it'll have the potential to kind of move through 25. So right now, I already had the options. I just held them. I cut the shares because, my original intent was to just kind of park them, because it was trading like right at NAV. So I ended up getting out of those shares. I want to say where'd it go? I didn't have a stop loss set. But I know I got out at 9, so it must have been. think I set the stop loss. Was this back on Monday? Yeah. I was talking about on Monday how I didn't have a stop loss, and then maybe that could even be Friday. I don't know. I mean, the days kind of seemed like a blur, but I ended up setting a stop loss and got stopped out at 9. So it might even been right around here because I know I set it during the day. So I lost 10% on those shares. Kind of sucks. Just the way this whole one played out. But I'm still holding the options right now, and I still think that it's gonna be a decent play. It's just gonna be one of those things where it's a matter of time for it to, like these other ones. Once it starts moving, I'll probably load back in with shares. Joseph Scott says, "How do you feel about BBIG?" I was talking about that one yesterday a little bit. Right now, I think it's going to get pinned. I really do. It had a lot of potential. It was trading up here above Max Payne. And then they had that announcement that I think it was their CFO and CEO or two people had resigned. This announcement came in, had this thing drop down to 563 in after hours yesterday, or the day before. And yeah, it started creeping back, but now again, I know I probably sound like a broken record continuously talking about Max Payne, but that seems to be the way things are going. And Max Payne right now is at 7. So, you have a stock that's got, let's see, 164% IV, 200% for this week specifically, still on a Thursday. And, I would imagine maybe they'll even let this thing kind of ride up like we were talking about earlier with ATER and SDC, where they'll let it get up there and invite new options buyers in, and then they're just going to pin it here and slam it back down, and kind of like bottle it up in this range right here. Now, I could be wrong if all of a sudden this thing starts taking off past it. I still think it's got potential, but in the short term, I think now that it's below Max Payne, I'm not even looking at it until it gets back above there. Scotty says I might be coming at you live from the American Dream Mall tomorrow. That'd be awesome. Joey G says I just went over. I don't know if you were watching when I was looking at PROG, but I if you're jumping in and out, to me the way to play it is, if you're day trading, the easiest way to day trade is to play this move above the 50. But I mean, if you've got no experience with day trading and you don't have time to sit there and watch stocks, and you're not at a computer all day, which a lot of times I don't even have the ability to. I like PROG right now. I think that it's had these pops, consolidation, pop. I think it's consolidating again right now, maybe for a couple of days. It could be done. We might see it break out of this today. But I don't think PROG's done. I think it's got a lot more room to grow. So that's my thoughts. This is one of the only squeeze ones that I'm holding right now. Of all these ones we've been talking about, the BBIGs, ATR, PROG's the one that I'm in right now. So I think it's still got a lot of room to move. Day late, dollar short. What's up? Blue says, been an update for next week's Max Payne. It's $8 as well. Tomorrow is $8. Pretty sure you're talking about CLOVE. Yeah, honestly, I don't think Max Payne really affects CLOVE anymore. And I was talking about that. I mean, obviously, we're still trading right around it, but I don't think market makers give a shit. And the reason I say that is IV's, 97%. So look at all these other stocks that I was sitting there talking about. ATER, 182. I mean, and there's so many other stocks on the market too, but BBIG, 164. SDC is a little bit lower, 127. Shit, PROG. 203, CEI, 256. These are the type of stocks that I think they want to manipulate and try to pin to max pain, because that's where they're going to make the most money off the premiums. With CLOVE sitting where it's at right now with the low IV, um, I, I don't know that the incentive is there for a market maker to try to pin it, because that's what it's all about, right? When IV, implied volatility, is based off options volume and where the option market thinks the stock's going to go, and really it has to do with like all the open interest that's in there. So the fact that CLOVE's IV is down below 100% again means that a lot of options buyers have moved on to some of these other stocks. Um, and those other stocks that they've moved to, I think, are the ones that market makers are going to be trying to manipulate and pin. Because again, like, I know I've said this on here a bunch of times, probably more so in the past, but max pain isn't like a thing that happens across the board in every stock. It's something that in these stocks that get these insane IVs, now the incentive is there, right? Now they could like try to pin it right in there and try to rake in premiums from the puts and the calls. But there's stocks that every day trade above max pain and trade above them for, months at a time, without ever being manipulated back down to that strike level. So I think IV has a lot to do with that, and our IV's been dropping tremendously. So the other thing that I know, also I think goes with that is it really starts to seem like a lot of the shorts in Clover have been flipping along. If you look at, even where, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. I think we talked. I can't get it up now, but we talked about yesterday that the we've been seeing a lot of the puts that have been coming in on Fintel, clearing out in these latest 13 filings, 13F filings, and they're like showing that some of these people have been getting rid of their puts and then turning them into shares and flipping the script, or just eliminating their puts altogether. And so I think a lot of these people who were previously shorting the stock are reversing. Also, if you look at Ortex data on CLOVE right now, we talked about this too. Utilization's been going down. So, which again tells me that less and less people are starting to short the stock. There's still 50 million shares on loan. Um, you know, which is relatively high. It's almost a quarter of the float, but it's dropping every day. So I think we're getting close to a time when maybe this stock isn't going to be as manipulated, and we'll be able to freely move the way it's supposed to be trading. Um, Junior Wills says, I've not been trading but about 8 months. I appreciate what you do. Work from home 3 days a week and love listening to the stream. Just learning little by little as I work. Right on. Yeah. I've said this so many times. I enjoy doing this. That's why I do it. And I enjoy like kind of kicking it and hanging out with you guys in the mornings. I just wish I had more time, man. Like one thing that I really wanted to do with this channel, and I started to with those like chalk talks, was like breaking down and doing like beginner stuff. I started getting into options, started getting into like some option strategies, but I haven't even begun to complete like that playlist. The other one that I really want to get into soon, maybe even sooner before finishing the options one, is some of these day trading strategies, because I know, I've been talking about these runners every day and which stocks to get in and get out of. Um, and so I may end up, whenever I find the time, and it's hard for me during football season too, and I'm still going to school and everything else. So, but that's definitely probably one of the next things I'm going to do is make a little chalk talk series on some of the simpler day trading strategies. That way, as we talk about these stocks in the morning, it could be like a reference point, something to look back on and kind of follow along and see how this goes. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it too. So thank you. Joseph Scott says, going to start being more active on the stock lounge. Yeah. I mean, because even I can't even go on there, and sometimes I forget, and then I'll go on and check later, and it's like, one person asking a question, and I forgot, and I mean, so yeah, if you're on there, you're active on Discord. I mean, let's get the conversation started. Let's see. Dan says still holding. Yeah, I think it's gonna pay off, man. Am I that far behind in the chat right now? Let's see. Holiday option, what's up? Good morning. Let me see. Dennis D, good morning. Let me see here. A couple of you guys asking about some different tickers. AQST. I don't know anything about that. I covered ATER already. I think ATER looks great. But one thing that I'll be careful about is Max Payne's at $10, and it's trading right around there. So, it popped up to there yesterday. I really think it was more of a bull trap. They're trying to get you to buy options up there at the top, as it approached this 10. I think they were trying to trap option buyers into buying these high premiums, and they're going to try to slam this thing down as we approach into options expiration. I think long term ATER has some great potential. I'm waiting to see it, really jump past 10, and then there's even a big gap in the option chain going up to 1250, right? So as it breaks past 10, I know I had previously said I would be looking to jump back in this thing. I would say there's so much room to run with this stock. When it does pop, I think it's going to go ridiculously high. So I might even wait until 11 before jumping in. That's kind of, it's on my watch list, but I want to see it break past Max Payne, and get back above there, because right now I've seen too many times with these high IV stocks. All right, let's see here. So, we might as well get to some of these other stocks, or let me try to catch up. Profit Taker, what's up? And that's one that I was gonna bring up. So this one came up on my scanner this morning, and I know I've been sitting here rambling on, and usually I like to get to the scanner sooner, and I didn't. But there's a couple stocks that got on my scanner, but I just seen Profit Taker says this. So yeah, so Donald Trump announced his new social media platform, the Truth Social, but DWAC. This is a SPAC. Shot up to $20 when that news dropped. See, it's at $9.96 right now. Okay. I think this has some room to run. I really do. It's got vol. This looks weird. This isn't. That's weird. All right, whatever. But it's got volume behind it right now. It's moving. This is one that I'm going to be watching today. It's a relatively low float. I think $31. And for some reason, my chart over here, when I zoom out, shows that there's a huge gap to the upside to 26. I don't know what's going on with that, if anybody else does, but when I go on my Thinkorswim, it's only showing like the last 3 days or something. So I don't know if something's messed up in my settings. Yeah, that's weird. Whatever. So a lot of volume on this one this morning, Looks like it's already got 21 million in volume, and it's a 31 million float. Hit a low at 1032 this morning. It's already ripping. This is one that I'm absolutely going to be watching today as a day trade candidate. The other ones that I have on here, I talked about HX already, but I think HX is one that play at your own risk. Extremely low float. Talked about it yesterday, and I ended up jumping in on it anyways. I think it's got a lot of potential, but I also think that you can get burned pretty fast with that one. The other ones that popped up on my scanner today, KDMN. Where's that at? Okay, this one's got 160 million float. Already has 39 million in volume traded this morning. Popped up from 862. Looks like it's up about 9% right now. With a lot of volume behind it. There we go. And this one, when you look at it, what intrigued me about this one is, so it's at 860 is where it closed yesterday. It's trading at 939 currently. Go back to the daily chart. It's at all-time highs now. Okay. Yeah, there's a gap down here to the downside. But we're gapping up here, and if all of a sudden that means there shouldn't be any resistance levels ahead of it, right? At the same time, if all of a sudden it comes down and gap fills back down to where it was, there's also a big gap to fill down to the downside. So what am I saying? It can go either way, yeah, but that's what we're looking for, right? Is volatility. It's got a lot of volume behind it. Just looking for entry points and looking for opportunities to jump in and out of these stocks and make some money throughout the day. With the amount of volume that this one's taking, I think KDMN could be another good one. That's the other one that I'm going to be looking at today. And then SOS I already have up here. SOS is, I think somewhere around a 200 million float, something like that. Let's check the volume on it. That one didn't pop up on my scanner, but I just got a feeling it should be able to get some legs this morning. And SOS has a shit ton of volume right now. That can't be right. Oh, I'm reading that wrong. No, it's at 2 million in volume. All right. So SOS has about 2 million in volume right now, but it is above max pain. Hit as high as 308. So that's the other one I'm going to be watching this morning. The only other one that I like, if I had to throw a fourth one in the mix, is NXTP. This one's a 50 million float. And let's see here. This didn't come up on a scanner, but it's already got 1.6 million in volume. If we take a look at the daily chart, this is one that L Train was put me up on yesterday. And I've also seen a little bit of activity on social media with it. So this is another one that I'll be looking for. That's some pretty nice range in there for day trading, right? 210 up to $3. You're getting some really tall wicks, and that's a lot of opportunity to kind of jump in. And it looks like that's been happening for some time now. 238 up to 330, 282 to 366. So, anytime you get a big range like that throughout the day, that should give you some nice opportunities, especially as we're seeing increases in volume. I mean, even if you look at yesterday, this one would have been playing that crossover 228 up to 297, 236 up to 271. So I mean, shit, it even started running yesterday in after hours. So that's another one. So those are probably the 4 that I'm going to be watching. There's so many other ones that you could potentially get into. But once again, those are KDMN, SOS, NXTP, and DWAC are the 4 that I'll be watching today. And of course, all the previous runners I have alerts set for. So your SDC, ATER, BBIG, PROG. What else? I added Wish to the list today. That's one that's just going to be on my watch list. So, yeah. All right. Let's see here. Let's get back to the chat. So we got CLOVE up right now. I got SOS, PROG, and BlackBerry. VG, good morning. He has risen, says AQST is a swing play, FDA date in December. Let's check it out. AQST. So right now we're looking at the minute chart. Let's go to the daily. Recent lows of 3. All-time high 8. I don't know about all-time high of the year. Yeah. I like the I feel like I just saw this chart recently. Did we look at this yesterday or no? I would look for a breakout here, like above this 480 probably, but unless you're already in it. I mean, in terms of bullish signals, it just crossed over on the MACD. It's trading above 50 on the RSI. It just crossed above the 50 SMA. Your 50 recently crossed over the 100. And I think the next one would be like the 50 crossing over the 200. That would be, those are all like bullish signals that are going to, invite in other swing traders. If you're looking at this from a swing trade standpoint, I'm looking at news on it now. It looks like Aquestive Therapeutics report third quarter financial results. That was from like last week. Maybe 2 weeks ago. Price targets of $28, $30, somewhere around there. I mean, it's trading at $4. Yeah. And the other thing that I like about this is that, it just closed above the 200 as well. So it's, it's above all these daily moving averages. So, or these simple moving averages. So, yeah, it looks pretty bullish. It looks like it's starting to reverse. Again, resistance wise, if it can break above like this looks like a level potentially somewhere in this range, maybe right around here, 471, basically close above 5. Should get it moving a little bit more. And then an all-time high at 8. Is that all-time or is that just on the year? Oh, no, it's just on the year. So looking at the weekly view, it's a little bit easier to see that level I was talking about too. Like the top of right here ends up becoming a bottom down here. And then 636 kind of seems like one. Maybe 804. So, and 804 is kind of that high. But if you look back with 804, you could see that that's where some candles ended up closing way back here. So, yeah, man, mean, again, I don't know anything about this stock fundamentally, but just looking at the chart and, based off price targets, where it's trading at, bullish momentum indicators happening right now on the chart, I like it. Kamal says, why is CLOVE's utilization 76%, lowest ever? To me, it's just, showing that probably shorts are covering and maybe flipping to long, returning shares, not shorting the stock. I mean, I would imagine, again, this is just my speculation, but we kind of talked about this on here yesterday too. Like, when you're talking about, down here in these levels, what are you really looking to get out of shorting the stock? I can understand an intraday short when you're up here and the thing pops to 821, just from a trader's perspective, right? Pops up to 821. It's like, okay, I know I could short this thing back down under 8, and make those little gains. But when you're talking about like long-term shorting on a stock, like, the all-time low is 631, and it didn't even hold there for long. But even if you look at like 665 level, 703, like right in there, there's really not much more room to short this thing. I mean, there's so much more room to the upside. Like, I would imagine at this point, especially when we've seen nothing but positive news in the stock and everything else, that shorts are probably, at the same time starting to, probably the 3.5 star rating probably helped with that. The CMS approval of the expansion that, was what, like 2 weeks prior to that, like just everything that we've been hearing about this stock, is probably starting to get shorts to, like, some probably flip long, because at the end of the day, a lot of these hedge funds, they're traders, right? So they're going to try to short this thing down, make money on the way down, and then they're going to try to make money on the way up, and money on the way down, and money on the way up. So I would imagine that a lot of them are probably flipping to long now. If they feel like they've taken every, ounce of blood that they can out of the downside, now they're going to start going long and try to make money on the upside. So to answer your question, though, I think, I would imagine that we're starting to see shorts cover and go long. Ivan says SHPW. Don't know nothing about this one either. Damn. That is some huge movement in one day. $7 pop up to 12. Estimated 2.8 million with pipe lockup, high redemption rates. Got options yesterday. So this was definitely a SPAC trading at 10. Yeah, I don't know nothing about this. This chart looks wild without knowing what's going on here. It's really hard to, like, let's see, SHPW. Can't really find nothing on Ortex. There's no estimated short interest. I mean, utilization's at 98. How big's the float on this? 51 million float. That's not bad. Options. IV's already 108, 151%. You said that just got added in yesterday too? That's crazy. Oh, I get what you're saying. Options got added yesterday. So basically the 15 to 22 strikes got added yesterday because, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it looks pretty interesting. I'd be curious to see where these get priced in, but 150%, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, so it's hard for me to this chart looks like it's all over the place. It might pop huge. I don't know anything about it. Um, looks like a massive run though. Um, registration for 335.5 million shares, 4 million warrants to buy shares, shelf offering. SAS giving manufacturers free access to powerful 3D printing manufacturing services. Let me see. All right. VG says, where's Tilray's share price could be with respect to call it put options? I'm asking because I don't know anything on options, just holding shares on Tilray. Let me see. I don't really know anything about Tilray. We got weekly options and just hit above 11. I mean, shit, the option chain goes to 26. IV's not extremely high either. So, because the IV's not high, I would say it's really hard to say. Like I guess when I talked about yesterday how like the option chain more so this year has become more of the price mover, like where the option pricing used to be based on the underlying stock. It still is, nothing changed. But I guess what I'm getting at is with so much more activity and open interest in the option chain, it's kind of become something to where sometimes in some cases, options contracts move the underlying stock price more so than the other way around. But with low IV, I don't really know that that's necessarily happening. Just to pull this up for you, VG, though. It looks like this is coming off Trady Ticks. Right now, this was yesterday. Bullish flow, bullish sentiment in their algorithm as well. 1.84 million in gamma exposure. How big is their float? Yeah, that's a fairly large float, 440 million. So that's a shit ton of options contracts. Am I reading that right? Oh no, it's only 58,000. I thought I saw triple digits, 75,000. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks like the chain doesn't really get interesting until about 13 or 14, but really, I would say up here, if it crossed to 15, maybe you'd start to see some action where all this would be in the money and you'd be, maybe pushing up to 21. Looks like the chain extends out to 100, so which tells me at some point in the last year it was trading at 50. Um, yeah, I don't know. Don't know much about this stock. Faith, what's up? Good morning. Happy Thursday. Genetic Nate, Thomas O'Connell, good morning. Thomas says, CLOVE 820, PROG reversal, FSR reversal, BBIG reversal, AMC reversal, GME reversal. Is that too much to hope for? Not at all. I know I'll be hoping for some of those too, but nah, that's I think what's crazy, like there's been some I know I haven't talked GameStop in a long time. Let's see here. the volume on GameStop has been insanely low. Like, where we at? 2 million, 2 million. There was some days back here where, look, it was below 1,000,000, 800,000. So that volume's been drying up. It's kind of been creeping up, crossover on the MACD, got over the RSI, started trading above the 50 SMA. So it's starting to creep back up there right now. And every day now it's been really starting to inch up just a little bit higher and a little bit higher. Who knows, man? I think it might be due for another pop here soon. I'm at least expecting it to, jump back up here and maybe get to this 225 levels. Even if you look back, we're just getting ready for the and I usually don't even look at the 9 and the 20 on the daily chart, but it's up here. The last time these two crossed, we had this nice big pop, and it looks like it's getting ready to cross right now again. So who knows? But I've definitely been keeping an eye on GameStop. As you guys have been watching me for a while know, I've been basically in and out of this stock for shit since December. Sold up here, not as high as I wanted to. It was actually probably here on the day that they took away the buy button. Still made some nice gains, but not as much as I would have up here. Bought back in around 40. Sold a little here. Again, I wish I would have probably sold it all. Didn't. And then added on, and now I've just been holding. I mean, my cost basis is amazing on this stock, but all right. Let's see here. JJ, what's up? Good morning. Kamal says, "What? Maybe they're waiting for earnings to short it more." Nah, I don't know. I think it's Here's the other thing. I'm glad you brought up earnings too. So the company put out yesterday that they are gonna do earnings on a Monday, November 8th, and I don't know how long everybody's been in CLOVE or been invested in CLOVE, but back in May, was it May? No, I'm tripping right now. Yeah, May earnings. They did the same thing. They moved it up to a Monday morning. Okay, so earnings was supposed to be. Let me see if this is just off my memory, but this is 514. I want to say earnings at the time were supposed to be. You could see it right there. It was estimated to be on 517, and they ended up moving it up to a Monday morning pre-market. Then you come over here to the last time they did it on August 10th. I want to say that was even supposed to be like the week after, and they moved that up to a Wednesday and after hours. So it seems like they're kind of have this pattern of like moving them up earlier. And we've been getting good news in all these earnings, and with the recent CMS expansion, the 3.5 star rating, all the other stuff that we've seen in here, in the last 3 months, I would imagine that the guidance is going to kind of again be something to get excited about. I think they're going to come out with some extremely good guidance to kind of forward looking plans, maybe reveal a little bit more about the AI side, everything else, and really get this thing moving. I keep saying it, but I really believe it. Like, I think we need analysts to really start turning around. I mean, right now, if you look at this stock, and look up what analyst price targets, you're looking at. What, $7 was that recent one, which was just laughable, but around $9 and $10. And once that changes, there's a lot of investors that's what they use. They look at a stock and they say, okay, this stock's trading for $6. Analyst target of 10. Hold on, let me look at this other one. All right, this one's trading for $6 with analyst targets of 18. Well, shit, that one's got more room for growth. I'll buy that one. And then they just keep it moving. So I think we need to see some analyst price target upgrades to really get this stock moving. And I think part of that's going to come with how they perform in earnings. Not expecting anything really on the MA side, earnings wise, but on the DC side, direct contract side, we could see that they, a lot of growth. And then, with the guidance where the company's talking about, their outlook for the future and what they're projecting, would love to see some increases there. Yeah, Malik just said the same thing. So many signs of accumulation tells me they're going from short to long, expecting the narrative on CLOVE to suddenly become ultra bullish. Yeah, dude, that's how it works. You know, short and distort, get the stock down, make money on the way down, and then buy it up then. And now all of a sudden, flip it and go long and get in at the lowest price possible, and they'll ride it up. And then once it gets to what they deem to be overbought, they'll play the same game and short it back down for a while and try to make money on the way down, and then flip it back the long way. And that's the other reason too why, like, it's all kind of part of the game. And people always ask, like, why if you were an institution, if you were, any of these institutions holding CLOVE, why would you lend your shares out to short sellers? But I mean, shit, why wouldn't you? Right? Like, I mean, if you're some huge institutional investor and I don't know, you have $1 billion you're managing, let's just say, and CLOVE only makes up what, $10 million of your investment. What is that, like 1%? What do you care? If I mean, it just it's like in the grand scheme of things, when you look at the big picture, if I'm managing $10 million worth of CLOVE or whatever, maybe more than that, $50 million worth of CLOVE, and I'm planning on holding this thing until it goes to $50 or $100, I don't care if it's trading at $8 for the next 3 months. And then it slowly rises up to 10, and then it goes back to 9. It doesn't matter to me because I'm holding for the long haul, and this is just a small portion of my portfolio. And so it's like, when they could lend these shares out, they could make money back on their now instead of their investment just sitting here trading sideways, they can collect back 2% at 2% annual. And then when the stock finally does pop, they get the benefit of that too. I know that wasn't your question or what you were saying, Malik, but I just thought of it. Grimzo, what's up? Good morning. Zeke for Bleak, what's going on? Chef Daddy, haven't seen Chef Daddy in a while. What's going on, man? Hope everything's all good. All right, where we at right now? 616. I'm gonna check on some of these stocks real quick and see what's going on. Not a lot of action. It doesn't look like with SDC. BBIG looks like it may be heading a little bit lower. ATER up about 10 cents, trading at 948. Nothing much. The SPY is currently set to gap down about $1. At 451.57. BlackBerry we have in front of us. It's trading at 1130, lower than the close of 1141. PROG again. I know I'm looking over here to my left, but it's we got PROG here trading at 274, right around where it closed at yesterday. Yeah, CLOVE's actually up right now. Closed yesterday at 784 and currently trading at what, 785, so not bad. Considering, I mean, it looks like a lot of other stuff is moving slightly down right now. Thomas said, join the Discord, especially if you are already on Discord. Yeah. There's like 100 and something members in there. Just, everybody just pretty quiet. All right, let's see here. What else was I gonna look up this morning? Oh, so let's check in on these three that we were talking about. I'm sitting here talking and I wasn't even looking. So we got DWAC continuing to rise. This is the one that supposedly, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's actually happening, but Trump media, some Trump the company's going to merge with Trump Media and Technology. Okay. So then that's not rumor either. They actually made an announcement. So, and again, I don't know what the hell's going on with this stock, but when I look on my Schwab, I can actually look back on the daily and see this thing that it was trading at 26. I don't know what, but my TD Ameritrade only shows 3 days worth of data. But anyways, a lot of room for movement here. Let's see. So DWAC getting a ton of volume this morning. This is probably my favorite so far. In terms of which ones I think are gonna, have that ability to pop this morning. Already getting 31 million in volume, and the float size is 31 million. So I really think this one has the ability to probably run this morning. The other one that I brought up that, who knows? HX is just so wild. Play at your own risk. I had a huge trade in here yesterday, but this thing is just flying. I'm saying that it's too risky for me, and I'll probably still end up jumping in today again and trying to ride this if we get some pullback. And I mean, the volume on this thing has just been insane. It's been running for some days now. It's already hitting 4 million in volume right now. And you can see what volume's doing to this stock. Every time volume increases, so does the share price. Yesterday it hit 58 million and moved from 850 almost up to $20. It's set to gap up right now. I would imagine it'll probably try to come down and fill that gap maybe. I know it kind of did that early on yesterday. Filled the small gap that it created before it took off. And yeah. But again, extremely low float, 16 million, and this thing can, move against you in a heartbeat. It's got 1 minute candles that, range anywhere from 50 cents to $2. So extremely risky play, but that's one I'll be looking at. And then KDMN was another one. Looks like maybe volume's starting to fall off here. Yeah, I might just go with DWAC. NXTP was one I had up. Looks like that one's starting to fall off. I know that one's been a kind of a pump target of some of the bigger fin twitters. But definitely one to keep an eye on. I believe the group that got CEI moving is now jumping into this one from what I saw on Twitter. So you might see some movement in this one, NXTP. So I'll be watching this for a while. Yeah, I think that's it. SOS I already have up here because it's trading above max pain. A lot of retail interest in this one. So that's about it. But honestly, I'm going to put this one up and see if I can find some Maybe some sort of pullback this morning. And BlackBerry's not moving right now, so let's go HX there. And there's CLOVE as we head into the open. Let's see here. Yeah, Thomas, you know what? That is why I was laughing too. But if you ever I'm still learning Discord too, but if you ever have a question for me, just hit the what is it, the at? I think you could do like at, or maybe it's slash, but you could do something like at Coach B Stocks, and then it'll alert me, and I'll look, because otherwise I just forget. Like throughout the day, I'm at work, I'm doing this, I got text messages and emails and everything else going on. And then it's like, shit, I didn't look on the Discord. And then I finally look, but I would actually appreciate it. Like at me, that way I'll kind of get more in the habit of getting on there too. But let's see. Coach Chef Daddy says HX made people money, but it's for real. That's why I say play at your own risk. Like, I mean, this thing, and also I talked about this morning, like position size, small, really small on this. Like, you know, if you normally go into a $25 stock for a day trade with 1,000 shares, maybe go in with like 100, 200. You know, like a very small fraction of what you normally do, especially if you're not used to trading this type of stock, maybe even less than that. If normally you would buy 100 shares or something like this to day trade, of a $25 stock, shit, maybe play 20. I mean, you're still gonna be able to make some if it takes off, but I mean, damn, this thing could move down in a heartbeat. So really just be careful there. But yeah, that was a fun one yesterday. See, I'm over here talking. That would have been a nice little bounce to probably play right there. Waiting for a pullback on DNN. I'm not familiar with that one. Shit, it's got leaps too. Is that all-time highs? Yeah, just passed. I mean, that looks like a major resistance level there. That it found twice, and it just passed it. So, yeah. Shit. What do we? Oh, DWAC. Damn it. Nah, I just said that would have. So this would have been like one of those ones I would have played as it came down, bounce off the 50, maybe play it as it crosses up, and you could see it starting to move again. Let me see the options chain on that one, Louis. Oh, wow. I don't know why looking at options chains gets me excited. It's just weird. Uh, so, DNN. Oh, it's a large float. That's why. Never mind. Not as exciting. 792. IV, you're right, is only at 140% or 104%. And you're looking at January 23 leaps, 250. I mean, I don't know, when I look at this, just looking at like what the price is, right? I mean, and again, it all depends on what your long term projection is for the stock. Like, I don't know nothing about it, but for me, when I go in with leaps, I'm usually trying to go in either at the money or in the money. But this actually, when you look at it, you'd be paying $70 right here, um, and you need the stock to move. What is that? About 25% from where it's at right now, as opposed to buying them for $200. Yeah, you can kind of double up on shares. I could see that. But I mean, at that point, why not pay the extra $10 and get the $2? You know, and now you only need the stock to move. Oh, I'm sorry, you need the stock to move up to 320. You know, if you're holding this long term, or in here you only need it to move up to 280. So you're paying that. This thing is moving right now. Damn it. Starting to get some of that FOMO. Yeah, I don't know. Usually with leaps, it depends where you're at with it, right? If you're looking to end up turning this into a position, and what's your long term projection on it, right? If you think this thing's going to end up trading at 5, probably doesn't matter. But if you're looking at like realistic growth of maybe like 30-40% over the course of a year, which is still kind of high, I would probably go in deeper in the money, or even just buy the shares just because it's so cheap. Um, but I guess you could get away with I don't know. Let's see. Malik says, "How high could Wish go?" Shit. I don't. I honestly, I've never traded Wish, but here I'll just pull it up down here as we're getting into market open. Um, I've never traded Wish, not one time, but I mean, previous high was 32, and it's also kind of a retail favorite. It's gonna. I think as it's kind of like CLOVE. If all of a sudden Wish starts moving, just from like the momentum side of it and retail kind of pouring in and seeing that extra volume, which it's already seeing an increase uptick in volume right now, I could see this thing, maybe getting to all time highs. But again, that's not based off fundamentals. That's just looking at a chart and saying, okay, sure, it could probably get, if it was up there once, it could probably get back again. Um, I don't know anything about this company fundamentally though. I'd, I'd love to find some sort of entry point on this. I'm not going to chase though. But I'm probably going to look to get in DWAC this morning. Let's see here. Let me zoom in on this one. Okay, so we hit the opening bell. Just looking around. AMC. It's always hard to see what's going on in the first minute. You see a big green candle, and 2 minutes later it turns into a red candle. But right now, AMC, yeah, and that already happened. So it looked like AMC was shooting up. It hit 41.20, and then it fell down to 40.84. And now BlackBerry's doing that. There we go. Got everything set up. I'm going to take PROG off right now and move it over to BlackBerry because that one looks like maybe it might be getting some legs. All right. Oh, uranium miner. Okay. You know what? I might have to ask. I know that back when I know it sounds like it was months ago or something, but probably was only a couple weeks ago when DeGen was doing the Twitter Spaces. I remember everyone talking about uranium miners, and I might have to ask Turts and maybe try to get in contact with DeGen and see what's up with that. Um, but yeah, I'll check that one out for sure. Um, No, that's right. Good luck today to everybody. Absolutely. And there goes Blackberry. So Blackberry, I did hold a position on that I entered into the other day, and it just looks like I like the daily chart. I like the momentum it's been seeing. It had a little bit of a pullback yesterday, but it looks like it's starting to move again right now. And yeah, I'd love to see that take off. I'd love to see something hit some green for me today. In terms of one of my long term positions or my holds, I should say. And look like so usually when you see this, normally I talk about that opening range breakout where it'll break up and break down. Typically, when you just get that little 1 minute candle and we start breaking up, it's almost a 1 minute breakout. So again, I missed the entry point on this, but I think I don't know. I might wait for some sort of pullback to like the 9 and play a bounce or something. I think this one's gonna run today. And HX already did what we talked about and filled the gap to where it closed yesterday. So I think HX might be again this is one that, shit, we just saw right there from 1860. This little ass candle right here is $1, 1860 to 1970. Um, this stock is wild. And Blackberry's moving for me. Thank you. All right. Well, um, I know it's your powerhouse says SoFi's up 80% in 2 months. Yeah. Well, shit. Let's get that same action with CLOVE. Um, same company, right? Same SPAC, uh, acquisition company. As I'm looking around right now, so GRE, uh, all different percentages, but all these charts look very similar. GRE's moving right now. SDC, two green candles in a row, kind of the same look. AMC, same deal. Um, GameStop just did the same thing. BlackBerry's doing the same thing. AMC just hit a opening range breakout. Holy shit! Looks like all the OG memes are kind of doing the same thing right now. For anyone who's driving and not watching, so BlackBerry just hit 1190 and it's still climbing. Um, But I'm looking over here and I'll just go ahead and put it up here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But AMC, so here's that opening range. Just crossed above it, trading at 41.34. GameStop right now, similar price action. Actually, no, it's not. But AMC's moving. And SDC, same thing. Now, keep in mind, I want to say this SDC is $6 max pain. Okay. So I would expect some resistance right around there. And I would love to see BlackBerry break 12 this morning. All right. CLOVE not looking half bad either. Up 10% right now, or 10 cents, not 10%, 10 cents. 1.28%, trading at 794. So it's that time. I'm gonna go help get the kids ready, get ready myself, get off to work. Good luck, everybody in the markets today. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed the show. As Thomas said many times today, if you haven't already, join the Discord. Would love to get more interaction and stuff in there throughout the day. Kind of make it a community where, once we sign off this show, we can kind of sit in there and talk stocks, talk sports, whatever. Do got some NFL game. NFL starting back up tonight, Thursday night. Yeah. Yeah, what is that? The Cleveland Browns, I think. The battered Browns. They got I don't think I think they're down both running backs and Baker Mayfield. So should be pretty interesting. But anyways, good luck to everybody. Cuckoo Bird, what's up? I see you. That's pretty much. I read that acronym, I think. Good luck to everybody. Good luck to all. Okay. All right, Cuckoo. Anyways, thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Happy Thursday. Hopefully see you tomorrow morning.